Home runs and strikeouts are two of many reasons why we love baseball, but nothing gets fans talking like an all-out bench-clearing brawl. We're talking about moments when players turn the stadium into a battlefield, ready to chop each other's heads off. If you haven't witnessed players charging the mound or managers throwing punches, you probably just started watching baseball yesterday. So today, we're reliving the most shocking bench-clearing brawls in MLB history. The moments that proved baseball isn't just about hits and runs, but raw emotion, pride, and unforgettable chaos. It was August 4th, 1993, when the Rangers faced the White Sox in Arlington. On the mound was Nolan Ryan, a 46-year-old veteran in the twilight of his career, pitching what would be his final season. At the plate was Robin Ventura, 20 years younger, talented, and full of swagger. This was supposed to be the classic future versus past matchup, but what nobody expected was that this game would end with Ventura learning the hardest lesson of all: never, ever charge a Texas cowboy. Ryan fires a pitch that plunks Ventura square in the back. Ventura takes a few steps toward first base, then suddenly says, "Nah, I'm going for it." He charges the mound like an angry tiger on the loose. But here's the twist. Nolan Ryan doesn't run, doesn't flinch, doesn't even back up an inch. He lets Ventura show his teeth, then grabs him in a headlock like a dad catching his kid sneaking in after curfew and starts feeding him knuckle sandwiches. 1, 2, 3. The bench is clear. Chaos erupts, and all anyone can see is Ryan, the 46-year-old legend, pounding away on the 26-year-old Ventura. It's baseball's version of Don't Mess with Texas. If you thought the fight ended there, then you don't know this set of Chicago players. Rodriguez wasn't going to let his boy get punked out like that, and he came back hard on Ryan.
Come on. And here we go again.
You know the crazy part? Ryan didn't even get tossed. He stayed in, pitched 7 innings of 3-hit ball, and got the win. Ventura got the punches. Ryan got the W. To this day, whenever someone jokes about old man strength, Nolan Ryan versus Robin Ventura is Exhibit A, October baseball. Red Sox versus Yankees. Fenway Park was rocking for Game 3 of the 2003 ALCS, a rivalry so toxic you could feel the hatred in the air. Pedro Martinez is on the mound, Roger Clemens is on the other side, and every at-bat feels like it could spark a war. Earlier in the game, Pedro drilled hard at Karim Garcia and stared down the Yankees' dugout. You can see it building. This game isn't just baseball, it's a powder keg waiting to blow.
Nobody out, and this is over the head and actually must have hit the bat of Karim Garcia. And a foul ball, and Garcia immediately pops up and screams at Martinez. Yeah, that was perilously close to his head.
At the bottom of the 4th, Clemens fires up and in on Manny Ramirez. Manny loses it, points, and starts walking toward Clemens like he's ready to throw hands. Both benches spill, almost like they've been waiting for that moment. Just when you thought things couldn't get crazier, Yankees coach Don Zimmer, who was 72 years old but with a head full of steam, decided to charge recklessly across the diamond at Pedro. And Pedro, he doesn't swing, he doesn't punch, he just sidesteps like a matador and tosses Zimmer to the ground.
Oh my goodness. Don Zimmer and Pedro Martinez. Oh, that's awful.
Pretty sure that was the day Zimmer finally realized he was really 72 years old. Things could have gone really awry right there, and it wouldn't be about two teams beefing anymore.
Don Zimmer, a 72-year-old man, went into Pedro Martinez's face, and Pedro Martinez threw him down.
This moment became one of the most unforgettable and controversial images in baseball history. A Hall of Fame pitcher tossing a beloved elderly coach to the ground in the middle of a playoff brawl? You couldn't script this. Yankees fans still call it disgraceful. Sox fans still defend Pedro. And everyone else just remembers the insanity. To this day, when people say Pedro versus Zimmer, you don't even need to explain. Everybody knows the clip. It was August 12th, 1984, Braves versus Padres in Atlanta. On the very first pitch of the game, Pascual Perez nails Padres leadoff man Alan Wiggins right in the ribs. Perez just grins and trots around the bases, clutching his bat like nothing happened. But here's the thing. You don't plunk a guy on the first pitch of the game without paying the price. And the Padres? Oh, they were taking notes. This wasn't going to be just another Sunday afternoon ball game. This was about to turn into a street fight in cleats.
Perez's first pitch hits it.
The Padres spent the rest of the game trying to hit Perez back. Every time he comes to the plate, a different San Diego pitcher tries to drill him.
That ball was right at him. That was right at him. We got problems here. We got problems here. That's 12. We'll put the bat.
By the second inning, things had gotten even more tense. By the fourth, it was all-out war. Punches were flying, players were wrestling on the ground, and it didn't stop there. Injured Braves star Bob Horner, who wasn't even playing that day, comes charging out of the dugout in a cast, swinging at Padres players.
And there are some hot-tempered individuals out there. Pascual Perez not involved.
For you to know how crazy this fight was, several fans got arrested for trading punches of their own. Even managers Dick Williams and Joe Torre got ejected. In total, 17 players and coaches were tossed. 17! It's basically WWE with pine tar. Even today, when people talk about the craziest brawl in baseball history, this is the one that comes up. It had everything. Bad blood, beanballs, multiple melees, managers tossed, injured players joining the fray, even fans getting cuffed. The Braves might have won the game 5-3, but the real story was the chaos. Sometimes grudges in baseball last a few innings. Sometimes they last 3 years. That was the case with Giants reliever Hunter Strickland, who in 2014 gave up 2 absolute moonshots to a then 21-year-old Bryce Harper in the NLDS. Fast forward to May 29, 2017, Nationals versus Giants. 3 years later, Strickland finally gets his shot at revenge. His first pitch to Harper was a 98 miles per hour bomb right in the hip. Harper doesn't hesitate. He whips off his helmet like he's about to throw it, but instead, he charges the mound full speed and actually lands punches on Strickland. Benches clear, bodies flying everywhere.
Here they go. Strickland lands a punch. Harper lands a punch. Bench is empty.
This fight was absolute mayhem, one of the rare times you see real haymakers in a baseball brawl. Even Michael Morse went down hard with a concussion. Some argued it wasn't intentional from Strickland, but honestly, it looked like he knew what he was doing.
Playoffs a couple of years ago, and that was intentional in my...
Harper got 4 games, Strickland got 6, Morse's career effectively ended, and the internet had memes for weeks about Bryce's helmet throw. To this day, when fans talk about the last great baseball fight, Harper versus Strickland is near the top of the list. It had history, it had drama, and most importantly, it had actual punches. May 19th, 1998. The Yankees are in full dynasty mode, steamrolling the league. The Orioles? Not so much. So when Bernie Williams launches a homer in the 8th inning to stretch New York's lead, Baltimore closer Armando Benitez decides he's had enough. And if you know Benitez's reputation, you already know he makes zero attempt to look accidental. On the next batter, Benitez drills Tino Martinez square in the back real hard. Everyone in Yankee Stadium knows it's intentional. Tino is furious. Jorge Posada comes storming in, and the benches absolutely erupt.
That's going to call. Yep, he's gone. Benches are going to empty. That was a frustration pitch on Benitez's point. No need for it. Darryl Strawberry's after.
Just when it looks like the officials got everything under control, Darryl Strawberry came flying in like he's auditioning for WWE, charging straight at Benitez and throwing a massive left hook. Before you know it,
Because of all the frustration. They're after him. This is getting ugly.
this fight wasn't just about Tino getting hit, it was about the Yankees protecting their own during their most dominant era. Suspensions came down hard. Benitez got 8 games, Strawberry and Lloyd 3, Nelson and Mills 2 each. But honestly, The suspensions weren't the story. The story was that video highlight of Strawberry's haymaker and the Yankees charging the field like an army. In the middle of their dynasty, the Bronx Bombers showed that they weren't just going to beat you on the scoreboard, they'd beat you in the alley too. It was August 10th, 2010. The NL Central was a ticking time bomb. Dusty Baker's Reds were surging, Tony La Russa's Cardinals were the old guard, and Brandon Phillips? He was the spark plug. The day before the game, he told reporters, "I hate the Cardinals, I hate them. They're little bitches, all of them." Yeah, you can imagine how well that went over in St. Louis. First at bat of the game, Phillips struts up to the plate and does his usual routine, tapping Yadier Molina's shin guards with his bat like he always does with catchers. But this time, Molina's not having it. He pops up fully in Molina mode rage and starts chirping right in Phillips's face. Within seconds, benches are spilling onto the field. Then it escalates.
Yadier Molina right in the face of Brandon Phillips. And we've yet to set the stage about everything that happened, and you get a look at it. For those who may not have known, Brandon Phillips last night.
Imagine having to deal with a bust-up in the bottom of the first inning. Before anyone could even blink an eye, what looked like a talk-down turned to a premium beat-down. Reds pitcher Johnny Cueto, trapped against the net, started kicking wildly like a caged animal. Those kicks connect hard. Chris Carpenter got nailed, but the worst is Jason LaRue, who took multiple blows to the head.
Scott Rollins getting into it, and now it is turning ugly. Came in with Chris Carpenter, and Carpenter's the one down.
This fight was one of the very few that came at a personal cost. Cueto's kicks gave Jason LaRue a concussion so severe it ended his career. A rivalry spat literally changed a man's life. MLB dropped 7 games on Cueto, 2 each on Baker and La Russa, but the damage was already done. Reds versus Cards were already heated, but this made it nuclear. Even today, when these two teams face off, fans still remember the Phillips-Molina showdown and Cueto going full karate mode. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't funny, but it was unforgettable and one of the ugliest bench-clearing brawls in modern MLB history. Back in the 2000s, the Crosstown Classic was the one game you didn't want to miss. The Cubs versus White Sox. But on May 20th, 2006, one Crosstown Classic became unforgettable. The Sox are defending World Series champs. The Cubs are, well, the Cubs, and of course, AJ Pierzynski is in the middle of it. If you know AJ, you know he was basically baseball's ultimate troll, always talking, always stirring the pot. So when he barrels home in the second inning, you could feel trouble coming. Pierzynski crashes into Cubs catcher Michael Barrett at the plate, slams his shoulder right into Barrett's chest, and knocks him flat. A J pops up, smacks home plate with both hands, and starts to jog back toward the dugout. But Barrett? Oh no, he's not letting that slide. He stands up, grabs Pierzynski, and drills him with a clean right hook to the jaw. Benches clear instantly. Four players got tossed after that clean hook, and if that wasn't enough, right after play resumed, Tadahito Iguchi launched a grand slam that basically buried the Cubs for good. It's insult, injury, and scoreboard pain all rolled into one.
So much going on right now in this rivalry between these two teams, especially with the White Sox having won the World Series last year.
Barrett ate a 10-game suspension, the Cubs ate a 7-0 loss, and White Sox fans ate it up. A few months later, Chicago fans even launched the tongue-in-cheek Punch AJ campaign, voting him into the All-Star game just for the memes. That's how legendary this fight became. To this day, whenever the Cubs and Sox meet, someone brings up the day Barrett clocked AJ. Baseball might be America's pastime, but these fights, they're the clips we never stop replaying. They became part of the sport's DNA. Which of these brawls do you think tops the list? Let us know in the comments and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next wild story from baseball history.